afternoon. I'm getting blasted by the sun. We're about to head into teamLab Planets.
teamLab is an international art collective, an interdisciplinary group of artists formed in 2001 in Tokyo, Japan. In order to understand the world around them, people separated into independent entities with perceived boundaries between them. teamLab seeks to transcend these boundaries in our perceptions of the world, of the relationship between the self and the world, of the continuity of time. Everything exists in a long, fragile, yet miraculous, borderless continuity. teamLab exhibitions have been held in cities worldwide, including New York, London, Paris, Singapore, Silicon Valley, Beijing, Melbourne, among others, and obviously Tokyo. These are 6 things that you should know before visiting teamLab Planets in Tokyo.
I loved teamLab Borderless when I came here a few years ago. Very excited for this. I'm also very hungry. Let's get some ramen.
First thing, since you can't bring food and drink into any of the exhibits, be sure that you're super well fed and hydrated ahead of time.
This donut's a bit dry. We just skipped the line?
Next, buy your tickets ahead of time too. We booked our tickets with Get Your Guide and somehow that allowed us to completely skip the line. I recommend doing the same because it costs exactly the same amount, and I'll include a link for how to do it in the show notes below.
Now we're going to the wet part. The wet part.
First, you're going to come to the Waterfall of light particles at the top of an incline, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to be walking up an incline that has water pouring down from it, meant to mimic a waterfall. Next, we came to the infinite crystal universe. This is based on pointillism, which uses an accumulation of distinct dots to color and create a picture. Here, light points are used to create 3-dimensional objects, and the light sculpture extends in all directions. The lights are different colors, synced to music, going at different speeds, going darker and then getting brighter again. There are different corridors and rooms all throughout this exhibit, and it feels a little bit like a maze. Don't forget to look up and also to look down, because it keeps changing as you walk through it. After that, you'll come to the expanding 3-dimensional existence in transforming space, which really just is a bunch of huge bouncy balls in a room that change color as you go through. Next, we came to the floating and the falling universe of flowers. This one changes seasonally, but basically you have a giant screen on the top of the ceiling that is projecting a whole bunch of different imagery. Most people lay on the ground to enjoy it. Next, we went to the drawing on water surface created by the Dance of Koi and People Infinity. This one was really interesting and probably the one that I've seen the most in different YouTube videos and online. It's koi swimming on the surface of the water that stretches out into infinity. I was really surprised by how warm this water was.
I don't know what lurks in this water. Hepatitis.
When it comes to what to wear, you're going to want to bring something that is easy to roll up. You're going to be walking through these exhibits barefoot at the very least.
Feels like the pool where everyone peed in it.
But some of them have water that's going to go all the way up to your knees if you're somewhat tall, or even higher all the way up to your thighs if you're a little bit shorter. After you finish with the main room, you'll be heading into the garden area where there are 2 things that you can check out. First, there's a moss garden of resonating microcosms, and it basically looks like a bunch of glowing potatoes in a garden. And finally, the floating flower garden. Pretty much my favorite thing and one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to come to teamLab Planets. It's truly amazing to see these suspended flowers, and they truly are real orchids. So since teamLab Borderless is so popular, how do you get photos without tons of people in them? Well, first of all, definitely patience helps. When people are walking by, just go ahead and let them do that, enjoy the beauty, and once you finally get a moment to yourself, go for it. I also found that hanging out in the corners was a good way to get some nice photos. There are mirrors just about everywhere, and that can kind of double up what you're seeing. Also, you can zoom in a little bit more. I like having the zoomed out photos, but when you're zooming in a little bit like we did in the orchid room, it still works because you've got so many mirrors that are multiplying the flowers all around you.
There's a bouncy room that Garrett's filming right now, but I'm not gonna do that wearing a baby. Looks like fun though.
also highly recommend that you go through the exhibit twice and time it well. We happened to go on a Sunday at 4 p.m. and the first time that we went through, there were lots of people everywhere. The line to get in was super long as well. But then the second time we went through, it actually happened to be dinner time and there were far fewer people.
So this was full when we came at 4 and it is now the 7 o'clock line and there's nobody in it.
Come later.
Yeah, come later.
So if you were to enter around 6 p.m., you would probably have the best chance of still getting 3 hours at teamLab without having to share it with too many people.
What did you think?
I think the light up room was my favorite. The flower room was very cool. All of it was really cool.
I'm so thirsty. That's 3 hours without water because you can't bring anything in. I would pay $8 for water right now. Yes. The water.
We've been getting our exercise. We've been walking everywhere and no matter what, carrying like either a backpack full of cameras and wipes or
A baby.
20-pound lug.
A big baby.
Or on the odd days, we're carrying like 50 pounds of luggage.
Yeah, also
or
true.
More, 70 pounds.
That's true.